Hi, I'm Pete and I'm a development worker here at Worth Connecting, and today I'm going to give you my top 10 tips for creating movies on your smartphone or tablet. Now this is a broad overview, and for more in-depth help specific to your device, you can always contact us here at Worth Connecting for more tailored tuition. Now, not long ago, a professional filmmaker wouldn't have dreamt of shooting a movie on a camera phone or a tablet because the quality was so inferior to what you could get with more professional and expensive cameras. But things are changing. Just have a look at this.
Your life slips away from you, changing your phone number and your email becomes normal. Taking out a restraining order, normal. Relocating to another city, normal. But you still see your stalker everywhere. Rationally, I know this is my imagination, but I'm alone in a strange city and I never feel very alone. There's some more forms you need to fill out. Just routine. I finished my homework. So you're going to eat? Please follow me. Well, look, I don't have a lot of time. I should be back at work. So what am I doing here? Take off your clothes down to your underwear.
So this was a big budget movie from 2018 by renowned A-list American film director Steven Soderbergh, and it was shot, the whole film, entirely using an iPhone 7. Now, you can pick an iPhone 7 up these days for around £100. So it just goes to show you what you can achieve with that little digital device. Now, today there are lots of reasons that everyone from amateurs to professionals are using their smartphones or tablets to shoot video projects. The cameras in these digital devices aren't just continue to improve in terms of quality, but they're also extremely convenient. It's that readiness factor. It's like having the phone right in your pocket. You can just pull it out and start filming straight away. It's a huge plus. However, in order to create your great cinematic masterpiece or even short holiday video, you're going to need to get the basics right. And so here are my top 10 tips for getting you up and running and releasing your inner Steven Spielberg. Tip number 1, clean your lens. So this is a video camera lens. Now, they always come with a lens cap to keep the dust off. Some come with a little cleaning cloth, and some come with some sort of cleaning solution as well. This is because keeping your lens clean and free from dust is really, really important. Simply put, the cleanliness of your tablet or phone's camera lens will affect the quality of your videos. Whether your lens is obstructed by dust or fingerprints, you're not going to get the clear, crisp videos you would if it's mucky as you would with a clean lens. It's a little bit like looking through a dirty window. Now, since we take our phones everywhere, they tend to be much more vulnerable to getting dirty than traditional cameras that might have a lens cap on. Just think about where you put your phone. If you're going to be using your phone to do some filming, think about where your phone is throughout the day. It's in your hands, it's in your pockets, it's in your purse, it's on various surfaces around the house, at home, in your workplace. And that's a lot of opportunities for the lens to get smudged or dirty. So you want to consider getting a soft cloth to give your lens a wipe before you start filming. Maybe get some cleaning solution. You know, if you wear glasses, you might have some already. Even just wiping the lens with the bottom of your t-shirt is better than nothing at all. Tip 2, shoot horizontal. You shouldn't shoot in portrait mode ever. That's where your phone is or tablet is sort of upright like that. Try remember not to do that, because when you're looking at your TV, you're looking at it in landscape mode. When you're watching a film at the cinema, it's in landscape mode. When you're looking at a computer, it's in landscape mode. So, and our eyes see in landscape mode as well. So it makes sense to shoot your videos in landscape mode. It's just a more natural way of looking at things. Now, nothing ruins great footage when you're watching it back, like having 2 big black vertical bars along both sides of your video. So you want to avoid this really sort of amateur mistake and make sure that you use landscape orientation when you're filming. Not only does filming in landscape mode make your video seem more aesthetically pleasing, it'll also make it more enjoyable to watch when viewed on a widescreen television later. Tip 3, avoid digital zoom. Now, every phone or tablet camera supports digital zoom. It's the digital version of a zoom lens. but that's not really a good reason to use it. Unless your phone or tablet has an optical zoom lens, and you will need to consult your documentation to find this out. Don't use the pinch screen option to activate the digital zoom where the camera zooms in. It's a poor feature when it's applied to video. And all you're doing really is you're just enlarging the pixels, which are the building blocks that make up the image. And it makes it look blocky, which is like the technical term is pixelated. So to maximize the video quality, what you should do is don't use digital zoom, but zoom with your feet. If you want to get closer to something, actually physically move closer. It'll be a lot better in the long run. However, if you want to take it to the next level, you can buy additional lenses for your camera phone or tablet phone, which will allow for an optical zoom. And it won't affect the image quality, and it won't break the bank either, because you can get them from as little as £20. Tip number 4, use airplane mode. So really you should put your smartphone or your tablet in airplane mode. This is where it disables any incoming calls, texts, Wi-Fi, that sort of thing. Because there's nothing more annoying than a call or a notification that comes in and completely ruins your shot. They might also have like a notification noise or a pop-up that's going to completely ruin your shot. So you want to turn airplane mode on, and it will also save your battery life. Tip number 5, selectively focus. Now, usually your phone is quite good at finding, or your tablet is quite good at finding and focusing on the part of the shot you want it to be sharp or in focus. But if you want to take full control, then you can set the focus manually. All phones are a little different, so you need to check your documentation. But normally you just tap the subject. In this case, if I wanted the leaf there to be in focus, you'll just tap it on the screen, and your camera phone or your tablet phone will focus on that part of the screen that you've tapped. Quite often a little square or a circle will appear, and everything within that square will be in focus once you tap it. Some phones will even lock onto an object, and if it moves, the little square will sort of follow it around and keep it in focus. And quite often a camera phone or a tablet phone will adjust the exposure as well based on the area that you've clicked. So not only will it be in focus, but it will be sort of nicely exposed. So this is about sort of taking control rather than letting the camera decide what's going to be in focus or correctly exposed. So that's something to have a look, play around with. Tip number 6, keep it steady. Now, taking a photograph is very, very different from shooting a video. For a photograph, you only need to hold your phone or your tablet steady just for a few seconds in order to get the shot. But for filming, obviously you're filming something that's happening over a longer period of time, you need to hold it steady for a much longer period of time, and that can be quite tricky. Now, 2 hands are always better than 1. I've got a tablet here. So if I'm filming with this tablet, if I'm holding it with 1 hand, it's a little bit shaky. If I'm holding it with 2 hands, it's a little bit steadier. If I'm holding it with 2 hands with my elbows tucked in, it's even steadier still. So 2 hands are better than 1. It may seem sort of rudimentary, but it does make a big difference. Now, some camera phones and tablets, their lenses have image stabilization built in. Again, you need to consult your manual. So they do tend to smooth the shot out a little. But even better if you can brace yourself against something, a solid object like a nearby wall or tree or something, just to sort of hold it steady. Or better still, again, if you want to take it to the next level, you want to invest in your filmmaking, you might want to think about getting a small tripod. You can get a fairly cheap travel tripod for as little as £20. They're not that expensive. They tend to be quite small and light and fairly quick to set up. Or you might even want to consider getting a monopod, which is like a one-legged tripod, which is even cheaper. Just gives you that additional sort of stability and just makes the things that you're filming just look a little bit more professional. Tip number 7, improve your audio. Okay, so while cameras in the phones and tablets tend to be quite excellent these days, microphones within the camera or tablet tend to be very average or even poor. Because they're actually in the camera body, they can record the sound of you holding the camera, so you can sort of hear your hands on the camera. And they're usually really bad at recording wind sound if you're filming outside. So even a gentle breeze can make your recording sound like you're filming in a wind tunnel. It's really bad. So you might want to consider investing in a separate microphone. Again, not going to break the bank. It can be bought for as little as £20. And almost always they come with a little furry windshield that avoids recording any wind noise, and they work amazingly, amazingly well. You might also want to consider buying a little cage for your phone or tablet, and it allows you to mount things on. So you can put a little light on there, a little microphone, and it keeps the microphone away from the camera body, so you don't get that sort of handling. Tip number 8, composition. Okay, so composition is basically how things are positioned in your shot. Now, there's something called the rule of thirds, which is probably the most well-known rule of visual composition. And this applies to painting, photography, filmmaking. In fact, the rule of thirds is one of the first things that beginner painters and photographers and filmmakers learn, and quite rightly so, because it can help you create sort of balanced and interesting shots. I'll say up front, however, that rules are meant to be broken, and ignoring this doesn't mean that your image is going to be necessarily unbalanced or uninteresting. So it's a bit of a guide rather than an actual rule. You know, real creative people tend to break rules all the time, so it's not something you have to stick by, but it's a good sort of basis for composing your shots. Now, scientific studies have shown that when viewing images, people's eyes usually go to one of the intersection points, or where these lines cross. That's where your eyes are naturally drawn to, more so there than the center of the shot, which is where you think they might be drawn to. So using this rule of thirds works with this natural way of looking at things. So it's generally a good idea to place anything that is important in the shot, or anything that is something that you want to highlight, at these intersections where these lines cross, so that the viewer will visually interact with the image in a more natural way. Their eyes are drawn to the bit that you want them to be drawn to. Image makers over the centuries really have used this rule to create their compositions, and artists such as Constable and Turner, and classic artists, often use the rule of thirds within their paintings. These days, most cameras, including the camera on your phone probably, or on your tablet, do have what's called a rule of thirds overlay. So you can turn it on and it puts these very thin lines over the top to help you sort of guide your composition, and it works really well. Tip number 9, right, editing your masterpiece. So now that you've shot all the scenes that make up your film, even if it's just a collection of shots from your holiday, what are you going to do with it? While it's great to have all these video clips sat in the gallery on your phone, you can only watch them one at a time, and quite often not in any particular order. And they have all the shaky bits and out of focus bits that you don't really want people to see. Plus, it's not easy if you want to show it to all your family, because they all have to gather around your phone. So it would be a much better viewing experience if you could sort of trim all these clips together and join them together to tell a story. Maybe even put a title on it or add some music. And this is where a video editing app comes in handy. Now, video editing apps are quite easy, surprisingly easy to use, really, fairly straightforward at a basic level. And you should certainly learn enough to put together a short movie, even if it's just a holiday, not holiday film, in no time at all. So just consider some of these. And they are totally free to use. None of these will cost you any money. If you want to edit on your phone or tablet, there are lots of good video editing free apps, such as Filmora Go, Adobe Premiere Rush, or for iPhone or iPad, there is the already installed iMovie. And they all do a really good job. They all allow you to trim your shots, assemble them in whatever order you want, and even add titles, music, or even special effects. Now, editing on a small screen, especially if you're using a smartphone, can be a bit of a challenge because it's such a small screen. So if you want to take it to the next level, you can always copy your footage, which are your video files. It's called footage because it's sort of old film technology, because things are measured in feet. So you could copy all your footage or your video files to a computer and then use some more professional apps. Now, these are still free. Apps such as Lightworks, HitFilm Express, iMovie again, if you've got a Mac computer. These work really well. They're completely free, and it's a lot easier to edit on a bigger screen. If you want to go all the way and completely unlock your inner Steven Spielberg on a computer, then you might want to look at some applications that are used by some of the big Hollywood heavyweight production companies. such as Avid Media Composer and DaVinci Resolve Studio. These are long established and well renowned in the world of professional film and TV production, and both of these applications are used by the big Hollywood production companies, and they have totally free versions that are fully working. They are completely free to download and use, and surprisingly not that difficult to use either. And finally, tip number 10, watch it back. So this is my final tip. So once you've filmed and edited your cinematic masterpiece, you want to watch it back on a screen somewhat larger than your phone or tablet. You want to show it off on your living room TV, really. And the most reliable way to do this is to connect somehow your phone or your tablet hooked up to your TV, and that is with an HDMI cable. So this is probably the easiest way to do it. Practically every TV, certainly any TV that's been sold within the last 12 years, will have what's called a HDMI port of some sort, which is used to transfer audio and video from a device such as a tablet or a mobile phone. Some Android tablets will have mini or micro HDMI ports, which can connect directly to your television with a single cable, or you can buy adapters just for a few pounds off eBay that will allow you to do that. However, if you don't want the fuss of any wires or cables going to television, there's always an option to use what's called casting. Now, casting is the process of wirelessly streaming content from your phone or your tablet by connecting to the same Wi-Fi network as your smart TV. Some smartphone and tablet apps will be able to cast directly to the TV for you. All you need is a streaming device like this one here, which is the Google Chromecast. There's another one called the Roku Streaming Stick, even the Amazon Fire Stick, and they're plugged directly into your TV's HDMI port and can be connected wirelessly by your phone or tablet, and they only cost about £30. They're not going to break the bank. So that's it. So now that you're armed with 10 killer tips for creating videos with your tablet or phone, you can go and release your inner Steven Spielberg, and don't forget that we can help you with advice that's more specific to your device should you want to contact us for some more information. Thank you very much.